Sambhavi, switch on your mic, please. Unmute yourself. Sambhavi Joshi,
Yes, ma'am.
I send you a mail because Monday's class recording owner is you. I don't know how. So I can't download that recording of Monday's lecture. I need to upload on Google Classroom. So you download and send me that video as attachment.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. I mailed you on Monday itself. Did you see my mail?
Ma'am, I will check and send you the recording.
Okay. Do it after the class and send me, please. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
You are very late, joined today very late, girls. Should I start?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see the screen? Girls, can you see the
Yes.
screen? Okay. Uh, did you get anything of Monday's lecture or everything went up the head? What we talked on Monday is testing of hypothesis, unit 4. So we talked on what do you mean by hypothesis? What do you mean by statistical hypothesis? What do you mean by uh, testing of hypothesis? What are the steps? What is level of significance? What is one tail test? What is two tail test? And what is your different kinds of error which can occur in testing of hypothesis? We talked about that all theory part. Yes, girls.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So now today we'll be talking about actually how we are doing hypothesis testing, how we are making null hypothesis, and how we are performing different tests based on the things asked in the question. Okay, asked in the application specifically, I should say that. Okay, so if you, I told you testing of hypothesis, you do any kind of hypothesis testing. What is hypothesis? Hypothesis is just a statement which you make, which you validate based on the data given. Okay, validate in the sense you either have to accept that hypothesis or you have to reject that hypothesis. Now how do you accept or reject the hypothesis? That depends on whether your calculated statistics value जो भी उसमें टेस्ट अप्लाई कर रहे हो, that statistical test value, if it lies in the acceptance region, then only your hypothesis will be accepted. If it doesn't lie in the acceptance region, your hypothesis will be rejected. We talked about critical value, the area left or right to that critical region is acceptance region or rejection region. I show you the graph diagram also. You remember that? Level of significance also plays a role while hypothesis testing. So what are the steps in testing of hypothesis? You talk about any kind of test applying on hypothesis testing. These steps are applicable to all hypothesis testing. Okay, now what are these steps? You first have to determine what is the test you are going to apply based on the given condition or based on the given application. You first have to determine which kind of test you have to apply. We are going to see some test starting from today. Okay, so you first have to determine the appropriate test, then you have to establish the significance level. Alpha value you need to specify because that will help you to identify how much is your acceptance region. Okay, if your alpha is 95% significance level, that is 0.05 alpha, in that case your area will be something else, if you are saying at 99% level of significance, means your area will be something else. Okay, so second thing you need to do is you have to specify at which level of significance you want to test your hypothesis. Okay, now once you do this, what you have to do is you have to formulate your statistical hypothesis. कौन सा hypothesis ले रहे हो जिसको तुमको accept या reject करना है. These all things you have to establish or you have to identify from your application given. Now, once you do this, once you formulate your statistical hypothesis, that is specifically the null hypothesis, you go in for, after doing that, you go in for calculating the test hypothesis. So first, you already determined that what kind of test you are going to do that. So you now know the formula for applying that test. Now, after determining these two things, you calculate the test statistics. Means you apply that formula and calculate the value. Okay. After that, you determine the degree of freedom. Degree of freedom, basically degree of freedom depends on how many parameters or how many data items you have with you. Because why degree of freedom matters is, degree of freedom matters because your critical value, which is given in table at back of your book, you can see I told you there are various tables, statistical table are available at the back of any statistics book. T table, F statistics value, and so on. Z score values, P values, numerous statistical values are available at back of any statistics book. That depends on degree of freedom. The value changes as you change degree of freedom. You will see in that table value at different significance level and value at different degree of freedom. Okay, now what do you mean by degree of freedom? Basically degree of freedom क्या होता है? Degree of freedom is normally जितना data value given है तुमको उसका -1 degree of freedom रहेगा. -1 क्यों degree of freedom रहेगा? Just take an example. For example, if you are if I ask you that out of you select any 5 numbers whose sum is equal to 100. Okay, if I ask you to select any 5 numbers, constraint is that summation of all these 5 numbers should be 100. So what you are going to do in that case is you will select first number 1 से लेके 100 तक में कोई भी एक, suppose कुछ दिया है तुमको 1 से लेके 100 तक में कोई भी 5 numbers लो, उन 5 नंबर का addition 100 आना चाहिए. So choice of selecting, can you freely choose all 5 numbers on your own? Actually, you cannot choose all 5 numbers on your own. You can choose at most 4 numbers on your own. Okay, that too intelligently. 4 numbers on your own. Fifth number, choosing fifth number randomly, you don't have any choice. Why? Because 4 number तुमने choose कर लिए. For example, तुमने 4 number लिए 10, 20, 30 and 40. Okay, so 10, 20, 30 and 40 का summation कितना आ गया? कितना आ गया? 10, 20, 30 and 40 का summation
100.
100 हो गया. Okay, for example, you are taking 10, 20, 25 and 35 for example. Yeah, 30. 10, 20, 25 and 30. How much is the addition? $10, 20, 25 and 30. How much is the addition?
85.
85. So last number, can you take anything, any number as the last number? Obviously you cannot. Why? Because 85 sum you have already generated by choosing 4 different numbers. So last number, it has to be 15 only. You don't have any choice, isn't it? So what you have, how many choices you have to select randomly? The five numbers, out of 5 numbers you have choice to select only 4 numbers. Fifth number has to be 100 minus addition of all these numbers. Okay, so what you did is you specified the constraint. How many constraints you specified? Only one constraint, that addition should be 100. एक constraint specify किया तो तुम्हारा degree of freedom क्या हो गया? एक reduce हो गया. ठीक है, so that is what is degree of freedom. तुमको independently random sample select करने की freedom कितना है? Okay, so it depends on constraints. So normally it happens that degree of freedom is always -1, because normally whatever problems we are going to study now, we will not talk about multiple constraints. We will talk about only one constraint. Okay, so degree of freedom is normally -1. Given the data values, data items -1, that much degree of freedom you have with you. So you determine the degree of freedom because critical value on the basis of which you will be checking your test statistics value with the table value, that depends on degree of freedom. And last, what you're supposed to do is you have to compute or compare the computed test statistics, the test statistics which you calculated at step 4. You have to compare this against the table critical value. Now, how will you identify this table critical value? Based on degree of freedom, you will find in table, you will find that corresponding value. You have to compare this calculated value with the table critical value, and you have to decide based on that. Decision will be based on these two value comparison. Okay, so these are the things which you have to perform, which you have to do for all type of testing of hypothesis. Did you get it, girls, or should I just again? Tanishka, should I just again, or did you understand it? Tanishka,
Ma'am, can you just again?
should I repeat again?
Yes, there were some connection issues at my end, so can you repeat again?
Okay. So what you're supposed to do is you have to first determine what kind of test you have to apply, because different tests applicable to different applications, and tests have different formulas too. So you need to first determine what kind of test you have to apply for validating your, or for accepting or rejecting your hypothesis. Once you identify the test, you need to decide on at what significance level you want to do the test. Okay, you have to decide in the sense you have to determine your degree of freedom too, because degree of freedom helps you to find out your table critical value. And that critical value matters a lot, because critical value identifies which is your acceptance region and which is your rejection region. Okay, and your testing of hypothesis majorly works on the acceptance and rejection region. If your value lies in the acceptance region, you will say your hypothesis is accepted. If your value lies in rejection region, you will say that your hypothesis is rejected. Okay, so once you identify these parameters, and you have to formulate your null hypothesis also before applying the test actually. Okay, once you do identify these three things, calculate your test statistics, calculate the value of test statistics based on the given formula for that particular application. And lastly, you need to compare your calculated value with the table value, and that decision will be based on that comparison in the sense, अगर तुम्हारा calculated value है वो less than है critical value से, तो तुम किस region में हो? Acceptance region में हो. So your null hypothesis will be accepted. If your calculated value is greater than table value, means you are on the right hand side. जो राइट हैंड साइड का रीजन में हमने देखा था क्रिटिकल वैल्यू के, लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में तो तुम्हारा था एक्सेप्टेंस रीजन, राइट हैंड साइड में जो वैल्यूज थी वो थी रिजेक्शन रीजन की. सो इफ योर कैलकुलेटेड वैल्यू इज ग्रेटर देन योर टेबल वैल्यू, यू हैव टू रिजेक्ट योर नल हाइपोथेसिस. आर यू गेटिंग दिस?
Yes, ma'am.
तुम्हारा जो ये था टेबल वैल्यू, इस तरीके से था तुम्हारा टेबल वैल्यू. लेट्स टॉक अबाउट ओनली वन साइड टेस्ट. Let's talk about only one side test. Though you have on two-tailed test, you have this critical value. This is all your rejection region. Here your critical value is, say for example, this is all your rejection region. This is all your rejection region. This is your acceptance region. This is also your acceptance region. And this was your rejection region in case of two-tailed test. Okay. So if your critical value is this, if your test value calculated is greater than this value, इस value से ज़्यादा, means you are here in this region, so you have to reject that hypothesis. If your calculated value is less than this value, it means you are here, so you have to accept your null hypothesis. When you are here, you have to accept the null hypothesis. If you are here, critical value से ज़्यादा आ गया, तो that is rejection region. So you have to reject your null hypothesis. The thing which I am talking about is on positive side. If you go on नेगेटिव साइड, अगर तुम इस साइड वाला टेस्ट कर रहे हो, टू टेल टेस्ट, अगर वन टेल टेस्ट इस साइड वाला किया है तुमने, राइट हैंड साइड, सो यू आर डीलिंग विद द पॉजिटिव वैल्यूज. इफ यू हैव डन लेफ्ट हैंड साइड टेस्ट, सो ऑल वैल्यूज विल बी नेगेटिव. नेगेटिव इन द सेंस ये जो वैल्यू है तुम्हारी, फॉर एग्जांपल दिस इज 1.5, जस्ट एन एग्जांपल. If it is 1.5, that 1.5 is minus 1.5 we are talking about. Okay, so if your calculated value is 1.6, though logically it is higher than this, but even then you have to reject it because 1.6 will be somewhere here, isn't it? 1.6 will be somewhere here, that will lie in rejection region. So you be careful when you are comparing the values for which kind of test applicable, which kind of test you are doing. That decision is different for different type of test. Did you get it? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, now let's start actually the how we do the test. Now the test which we are talking about today is the test of significance for the attributes. We are not talking about quantitative test or test of significance for variables. Now test of significance for attributes are different than test of significance for variables. Variable और attribute में difference क्या होता है? Variables can take values in the sense, what kind of values? Qualitative values, measurement वाली values होती हैं variables में. Attributes are not of those properties. They don't have quantitative measurement associated with it. They have qualitative measurement with that attribute. Like we talked about classification of data. There we talked about attribute, data types वगैरह भी हमने बात किया attributes का. So attribute test of significance for attributes are different than test of significance for variables, because as distinguished from variables, in case of variables you have quantitative measurement associated with it. It is possible for you to have a quantitative measurement associated with variables, but in case of attribute we can only find out the presence or absence of that particular characteristics. That is what is attribute. You are talking about a certain characteristics. You are not talking about the value associated with that variable. You don't have that in case of attributes. Okay, so what you are supposed to do is attribute test different तरीके से जाता है, variable test अलग तरीके से जाता है. So let's start with how we do test of significance for attributes. Okay, now the first thing which comes into picture is testing for attribute is when you have been specified with the number of success. Okay, now when you are talking about test of significance kind of distribution, each test of significance is valid if you have that particular kind of distribution, data distribution with it. Okay, here we are assuming that what kind of test we are doing, data distribution is according to that test. Okay, we are not talking about is that data following that distribution or not. We are assuming that whatever data is been given, that data given for that particular test is following that distribution by default. We are assuming that. Okay, though it does matter डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कौन सा है तुम्हारा, और वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन गलत दिया हुआ है तो तुमने जो टेस्ट ऑफ सिग्निफिकेंस लगाया might not give valid result, isn't it? So here we are not into that testing of that distribution. We are not doing that. We are assuming that that distribution is there. We are applying simply the test on that given data of that distribution given. Okay, so let's talk about test for number of successes, which follows binomial distribution. We are assuming that binomial distribution is being followed here. So how will you do standard error? How will you have to calculate standard error for number of successes? Number of successes का formula क्या जाएगा? Underscore NPQ. P is the probability of success, Q is the probability of failure, N is number of samples कितने given है तुमको. So you have to calculate standard error for number of successes. Okay, now this number of successes, it is testing of attribute, it is not testing of variable, क्योंकि इसके साथ में वैल्यू एसोसिएटेड नहीं है. हम सिर्फ उसका नंबर ऑफ सक्सेस चेक कर रहे हैं, उस एट्रीब्यूट को चेक कर रहे हैं, हम जो हमको पूछा गया है हम उसको चेक कर रहे हैं सिर्फ. ओके, so what is the procedure for this? You have to first establish the, what is the procedure for this? You have to establish the null hypothesis. You have to identify what kind of statistics you have to apply. You have to identify critical value. Critical value, how will you identify? You have to identify degree of freedom. You have to identify what level of significance. After doing that, you need to apply this formula. And after calculating the value from this formula, compare this value with the given table value, and then decide whether you have to accept or reject your null hypothesis. Okay, so what is the formula is saying? Standard error for number of success. This is calculating standard error. Okay, now how will you use that standard error? You have to, if your difference of given attribute, यहाँ पे जो attribute दिया हुआ है हमको, जिस attribute के लिए हम test करेंगे, उस attribute में जो difference है, वो difference upon standard error, if it is less than 1.96, you have to accept the null hypothesis. If that difference upon standard error is greater than 1.96, you have to reject the null hypothesis. What it means is your area will be something like this. This is your 1.96 difference upon standard error का जो ये critical value मिलेगा हमको. Okay, now this test is about calculating standard error and difference upon standard error. This has to be checked against your critical value. What is the critical value? At 1% level of significance, critical value is 1.96. This is 1.96. 1.96. Okay, this is 1.96. So 1.96 से less है. Difference upon standard is 1.96 से less है, मतलब तुम इस वाले रीजन में हो. ये वाला रीजन कौन सा है? Acceptance reason. So in that case you will be accepting the null hypothesis. If your value is greater than 1.96, you are in the rejection reason, so you have to reject your null hypothesis. If you are doing test of significance, percent level of significance is 5%. In that case you have to check this with 2.58 value. If difference upon standard error is 2.58 से less है तो accept करना है, else reject करना है. While deciding on that, you have to be very careful whether you are doing one tail or two tail test. If you are doing one tail, right या left कौन सा test कर रहे हो, you need to decide on that also. Okay, so let's start doing this for this example. A coin was tossed 400 times and had turned up 216 times. Test the hypothesis that coin is unbiased. एक coin को 400 टाइम टॉस किया है और जो हेड आया ऊपर वो 216 बार आया है, और इसके बेसिस पे डेटा गिवन है 400 बार टॉस किया, 216 बार तुम्हारा क्या आया? हेड आया. So you need to test based on this given data that your coin is unbiased. You have to test it. Okay, so how will you do that? Because coin is unbiased, what is given is you have been specified with the number of heads only, so you have to test for number of success only. Okay, so this is direct example of number of success, testing for number of success. Based on this given data, you have to test whether your coin is unbiased or not. Okay, so H0 null hypothesis will be that you are assuming that coin is coin is unbiased. That is my null hypothesis. Okay, so first from your null hypothesis, coin is first identify कौन सा टेस्ट करना है मुझे, PQ, कौन सा वाला टेस्ट करना है मुझे ये वाला टेस्ट करना है, जिसमें मुझे कौन सा फॉर्मूला लगाना है, which formula I have to apply? I have to apply this formula PQN. N multiplied by PQ will help me to calculate standard error. Okay, so this standard error will be calculated based on this formula. And what is my null hypothesis? Null hypothesis is coin is unbiased. Now nothing is specified in the question whether you have to do at 1% or 5% level of significance. So choice is yours. You can take anything. So I'm taking 5% level of significance here. 5% level of significance here. I am considering this. Okay. So 95% confidence limits you have to calculate. Okay. Now what you are supposed to do? Standard error you have to calculate. Standard error is P, Q and N. What is N? N is 400. 400 टाइम्स तुमने टॉस किया कॉइन को, ठीक है, अगर कॉइन अनबायस्ड है तो जो तुम्हारा हेड आएगा वो कितनी बार हेड और टेल का प्रोबेबिलिटी दोनों का हाफ हाफ रहता है. हेड और टेल का प्रोबेबिलिटी दोनों का हाफ हाफ रहेगा एक कॉइन को टॉस करोगे तो. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट you can expect 200 heads and 200 tails, but actually you are getting 216 times head instead of 200. So difference is actually you are getting 216 and observed is 216 and actually you should get is 200 only. So difference between number of heads is 216 minus 200, that is 16. Difference is 16. Okay, and standard error will be square root of p, q and n. N is 400 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय हाफ इसका स्क्वायर रूट लोगे, वैल्यू क्या मिलेगा तुमको? 10 मिलेगा. दिस इज योर 10. स्टैंडर्ड एरर इज 10. सो व्हाट आई टोल्ड यू इज दिस स्लाइड. व्हाट आई टोल्ड यू इज डिफरेंस अपॉन स्टैंडर्ड एरर हैज टू बी कैलकुलेटेड. चेक विद 1.96 सॉरी 2.58. मैंने उल्टा लिख दिया. आई एम सो सॉरी. आई एम सॉरी. दिस इज फॉर, लेट मी चेंज इट नाउ ओनली. This is 5% and this is 1%. None of you have question 2. 1% में acceptance reason ज़्यादा आएगा ना? You should have asked me at that point of time only, because see, ये जो तुम्हारा जाता है ऐसे रीजन जो जाता है यहाँ पे जो क्रिटिकल वैल्यू रहती है, आई टोल्ड यू 5% में तुम्हारा ये एक्सेप्टेंस रीजन इतना है. जैसे इसको 99% करते हो या 5 की जगह 1% करते हो, तुम्हारा ये जो क्रिटिकल वैल्यू है वो यहाँ की बजाय क्या होगा, यहाँ पे आ जाएगा. मीन्स तुम्हारा एक्सेप्टेंस रीजन बढ़ जाता है. ये सारा एक्सेप्टेंस रीजन में आ जाएगा. एक्सेप्टेंस रीजन बढ़ कैसे जाएगा? ये 1.96 और 2.58 में डिफरेंस क्या है? ये 1.96 इज समवेयर हियर, तो 2.58 विल बी समवेयर राइट टू दैट, इजंट इट? Because this is how your acceptance reason is increasing. So this is at 1% level of significance, this is at 5% level of significance. So you have to check this value. Standard error, difference upon standard error कितना आया तुम्हारा? Difference upon, what you are going to do is you are going to check difference upon standard error should be what? If 5% level of significance, it should be less than 1.96. Girls with me?
Yes, ma'am.
So difference upon standard error should be less than 1.96. Difference is, how much is the difference? The difference is 16. Divided by standard error is 10. Isn't it? Or you can do it like this. Difference should be less than 1.96 into standard error. Difference should be less than 1.96. 1.96 multiplied by standard error. This is also valid. दोनों एक ही चीजें हैं ये. Difference is standard error को इससे multiply कर रहे हो तुम. That's all. So your difference, if your difference is less than 1.96 multiplied by standard error, then you will be accepting the null hypothesis. How much is the difference? Difference is 16 in your case. Difference is 16 in your case. And check with the value 1.96 into SC. 1.96 into SC का value कितना मिलेगा? 1.96 multiplied by what? SC कितना है? Standard error is, how much is the standard error?
10.
10. So 1.96 multiplied by 10 is 19.6. 19.6. So compare this 19.6 with the 16 value. Is this 16 value less than 1.96? Yes, it is. Isn't it? It means where you are in the acceptance reason. So you have to accept the null hypothesis. What was the null hypothesis? Null hypothesis was saying that coin is unbiased. Okay. So null hypothesis is accepted, which says that coin is unbiased. So based on the given data, you can say that your coin is unbiased. Did you get the concept of testing of hypothesis? Did you get a feel of how you do testing of hypothesis?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Let's do. We will do 4 or 5 examples. Then I'll ask you to do 1 or 2 on your own. Okay. So this was the first testing of hypothesis for number of success. Remember, we are talking about testing of hypothesis for attributes. Now the second attribute testing of hypothesis for attributes is you can test for the proportion of success. Proportion of success कर सकते हो instead of number of successes. ठीक है, अगर proportion of success given है तो उसका formula change क्या हो जाएगा? The formula will change instead of NPQ, formula will change to PQ by N. NPQ था पहले formula, अभी PQ divide by N होगा. Where P is probability of success, Q is probability of failure, N is number of okay. So let's take an example where proportion of success is given. Let's take an example. Let's have a look on this. Chalo, let's do this example first. A wholesaler in apples claims that someone is I don't know who. Please mute yourself. Yes, thank you. A wholesaler in apples claims that only 4% of the apples supplied by him are defective. A random sample of 600 apples contained 36 defective apples. Test the claim of wholesaler. समझ में आया क्वेश्चन? होलसेलर बोल रहा है 4% एप्पल्स डिफेक्टिव है मेरे, और एक रैंडम सैंपल उठाया 600 का, उसमें से 36 एप्पल्स डिफेक्टिव निकले. तो उसका टेस्ट जो वो बोल रहा है क्लेम, उसको टेस्ट करना है कि उसके ओनली एक्चुअली में 4% एप्पल्स ही डिफेक्टिव हैं क्या. Okay, so now you can see you have not been given number of success or defective or undefective pieces. You have been specified with the proportion because percentage is given. So you cannot apply PQN formula. You need to go in for applying formula PQ by N where proportion of success is applicable. Okay, so let's see this whether the claim of the wholesaler is okay or not. So what will be the null hypothesis in that case? Null hypothesis is that 4%. null hypothesis क्या होगा? वो जो claim कर रहा है wholesaler, क्या claim कर रहा है कि 4% apples जो हैं वो defective हैं. This is the claim. 4% apples are defective. Okay, 4% apples are defective. So this is your null hypothesis. So null hypothesis is that 4% apples are defective. Now you have to test it. How will you test it? You will apply the formula PQ by N, where P is the probability of success, Q is the probability of failure. Success and failure क्या है इस केस में? 4% अगर डिफेक्टिव है तो अच्छे कितने हैं एप्पल? 96% अच्छे हैं. 96% अच्छे हैं मतलब 100 में से 1 में से कितना हुआ? 0.96. डिफेक्ट की प्रोबेबिलिटी कितनी हुई? 0.04. Okay, so that is what is your P. P is 0.96 and Q is 0.04. Number of apples are 600. You have taken the sample 600. तो अगर 600 में से ये कैलकुलेट करोगे तो स्टैंडर्ड एरर कितना है तुम्हारा? 0.96 multiplied by 0.04 divided by 600 under root, that is 0.008. Okay, so this is your standard error. Now how will you test the claim of this standard error? How will you test the claim of that wholesaler? You have to, there are certain ways to do it. One way we talked about is you calculate the difference, divide by standard error, and then check with the 1.96 or 2.58 based on at what level of significance you are doing, isn't it? Girls, are you with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how will you do that now? What is the difference? How will you find out the difference? Standard error is there, so you can multiply this standard error by either 1.96 or 2.58 based on the alpha value. ठीक है, but उस difference कहाँ है तुम्हारे पास में? Difference से कैसे करोगे? Do you have that difference? You don't have the difference, isn't it? नहीं है ना difference तुम्हारे पास में? Question में कुछ given है, कुछ भी given नहीं है. So you can't calculate the difference. So another way to test the claim is that you calculate the limits of 95% confidence limits. Calculate करो उसकी. ठीक है? How will you calculate that 95% confidence limit? You can check it using either P plus minus 1.96 SE. P plus minus 1.96 SE standard error. अगर probability of confidence limit success की calculate करनी है तो यहाँ पे P plus आएगा, और अगर failure की करनी है तो यहाँ पे Q plus आ जाएगा. Okay, so what we want to check is जो वो बोल रहा है 600 में से उसके 36 apples डिफेक्टिव निकले हैं, तो क्या वो 4% की लिमिट में आते हैं? क्या हम अगर ये चेक कर ले तो हमारा पर्पस सॉल्व हो जाएगा? Okay, so what you do is you check whether this lies, that number of defective apples lies in this limit or not. Q plus minus 1.96 SC. So 1.96 SC is 0.008 multiplied by Q means defective, क्योंकि हमको defective apples given है 600 में से उसके 36 एप्पल्स निकले हैं डिफेक्टिव, तो हमको उसकी लिमिट के अंदर चेक करना है। अगर वो उसकी डिफेक्टिव एप्पल्स की जो 95% लिमिट है उसके अंदर आ रहा है उसका वैल्यू, इसका मतलब उसका क्लेम जो कर रहा है वो वैलिड है क्लेम। अगर नहीं आ रहा है उसके अंदर, मतलब उसका टेस्ट जो नल हाइपोथेसिस है वो रॉन्ग है। ओके, सो यू कैलकुलेट दिस 0.04 plus minus 1.96 multiplied by 0.008 which comes out to be either प्लस करोगे तो 0.0557 मिलेगा और माइनस करोगे 0.04 में से माइनस करोगे 1.96 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 0.0088 you will get 0.0243. now this is the probability of 0 to 1 की रेंज में है, बट अभी तुम्हारे पास में 600 एप्पल्स हैं, तो now if this is the probability, if you multiply this by 600, so that many apples will be defective. If you multiply this by 600, that many apple will be defective. So if you multiply 0.055 into 600, you will get 33.42. And if you multiply this 0.023 by 600, you will get 14.58, which if you round it off, so your apples defective should be in the range of, इसको 15 ले लो, 14.58 को 15 और 33.42 को से 33 ले रही हूँ मैं. So your defective apples can range between 15 to 33 only. और उसके apples कितने defective आए हैं? 36 बोल रहा है वो. इसका मतलब वो 15 से लेके 33 की रेंज में नहीं है, वो आउट ऑफ रेंज है. इसका मतलब उसका जो क्लेम है वो क्लेम cannot be accepted, null hypothesis is rejected. It means उसका जो क्लेम कह रहा है 4% ही डिफेक्टिव है वो गलत है.
मैम,
Yes.
36 by 600 into 100 is
Yes.
6%. so वैसे नहीं कर सकते क्या कुछ?
नहीं, वैसे नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि this accidentally this example is that where you can directly calculate the proportion 600 का. Okay. Okay, are you with me? Because this example was very simple, so you can apply that. Even 600 का अगर 36 600 का परसेंटेज निकालोगे तो वो शायद 4% आएगा भी नहीं, तुम्हारा 6% आएगा या जो भी आ रहा है. ठीक है, तो वहीं से ही वो तुम्हारा जो टेस्ट क्लेम है वो वहीं से इनवैलिडेट हो जाएगा. बट फर्स्ट थिंग इज यू नीड टू प्रूव इट, you need to prove it why it is wrong. So this is a proper proof why it is wrong. Plus example was too simple that even if you don't do these steps you can validate that verbally also. But normally I have taken very simple example, but normally the examples given are not that direct. You need to follow this procedure.
Okay ma'am.
Okay, let's have one more example. See this. Please note this down. Do it as homework because I don't have much time. A factory is producing 50,000 pairs of shoes daily. From a sample of 500, 2% were found to be substandard quality. Estimate the number of pairs that can be reasonably expected to be spoiled in the daily production and assign 95% limits. मतलब 5,500 में से 2% सब स्टैंडर्ड क्वालिटी की है डेली और उसका डेली प्रोडक्शन है 50,000 पेयर्स का, तो 95% कॉन्फिडेंस लिमिट के हिसाब से बताना है तुमको कि कितने से कितने लिमिट का, कितने से कितने रेंज के जो है वो सब स्टैंडर्ड क्वालिटी के आने चाहिए. ओके, so on that lines only. The previous example, this example is on similar lines. Okay, now let's talk. Please try on your own. Answer we can validate later. Did you note it down, girls?
1 minute, ma'am.
Yes. Should I move?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Though I have solved it, but then you try solving it, we'll tell you the answer. Okay, now test for difference of proportion. अभी क्या किया था हमने? Test of number of sexes, test of proportions given. Now we are talking about test of difference of proportion. Means एक sample नहीं दिया हुआ है, 2 samples दिए हुए हैं. Okay, so your formula in earlier case, your formula was PQ by N. In case of proportion, number of proportions, formula क्या था? Under root of PQ by N. Now you are dealing with the difference of proportion, means तुम्हारे पास में 2 samples हैं. So your formula will change to PQ multiplied by 1 upon N1 plus 1 upon N2. Okay, now how will you calculate now this P? Now this P is not for single sample. Now this P has to be calculated given 2 different samples. So your P has to be calculated as N1 P1 plus N2 P2 divided by N1 plus N2. P1 is the probability of success of first sample, probability of success of second sample. N1 and 2 are the sample sizes. Okay, now once you calculate P, your Q will be calculated as 1 minus P is Q. Okay, so you apply this formula and do the same type of checking. Calculate your difference upon standard error, then compare with either 1.96 or 2.58 based on level of significance. That concept is same. Okay, did you note down the formula? Let's take one example. Should I move to next slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now see the example. Before an increase in excise duty on tea, 400 people out of a sample of 500 persons were found to be tea drinkers. After an increase in the duty, 400 persons were known to be tea drinkers in a sample of 600 people. Do you think that there has been a significant decrease in the consumption of tea after increase in excise duty? क्वेश्चन समझ में आया? एक्साइज ड्यूटी इंक्रीज होने से पहले 500 के सैंपल में से 400 लोग टी ड्रिंकर्स थे. एक्साइज ड्यूटी इंक्रीज हुआ तो 600 का सैंपल लिया, उसमें से 400 टी ड्रिंकर्स निकले. तो अभी इसके इन डेटा के बेसिस पे यू नीड टू चेक वेदर देयर इज अ सिग्निफिकेंट डिक्रीज इन द कंजम्पशन ऑफ टी आफ्टर इंक्रीज इन एक्साइज ड्यूटी. एक्साइज ड्यूटी बढ़ने के बाद में टी कंजम्पशन पे कुछ डिक्रीज, सिग्निफिकेंट डिक्रीज आया है क्या? यू हैव टू चेक इट. Okay, now first analyze the problem. Don't jump into solving the problem. First analyze the problem, what is asked. अभी क्या है? फर्स्ट तुमको 2 सैंपल्स दिए हुए हैं, एक बिफोर एक आफ्टर. इस वाले सैंपल में 400 में से 500 में से 400 दिए हुए हैं, दूसरे वाले सैंपल में 600 में से 400 दिए हुए हैं. इट मींस यू हैव नाउ 2 डिफरेंट प्रपोर्शंस विथ यू. सो यू हैव 2 सैंपल्स. सो यू नीड टू कैलकुलेट. प्रपोर्शन गिवन है 500 में से 400, 600 में से 400. प्रपोर्शन कैलकुलेट करना है फॉर श्योर. And 2 samples are there, so you need to apply which formula? PQ multiplied by 1 plus N1 plus 1 plus N2 का under root. That formula you have to apply. So you identified your test. Alpha का value, level of significance नहीं दिया हुआ है इसमें, so you can, choice is yours. You can take 95% limit, or you can take 95% confidence limit, or you can take 99% also. 1% level of significance पे भी कर सकते हो, 5% level of significance पे भी कर सकते हो. Okay, so let's do at 5% level of significance. I am choosing 5% level of significance. I identify the formula, I identify the levels. Okay, and what next is you have to identify the hypothesis. Now what hypothesis you have to check? What it is asking is, do you think there has been significant decrease in the consumption of tea after increase in excise duty? So I am taking null hypothesis that there is no significant decrease in the consumption of tea after increase in excise duty. I am taking that null hypothesis. Null hypothesis जब भी फॉर्म करते हो, आगे के सब एग्जांपल्स में देखोगे, null hypothesis is always formed in a negative sense. इसमें clearly नहीं लिखा हुआ है. So I am assuming that there is no significant decrease in consumption of tea after increase in excise duty. I am assuming that null hypothesis. Okay, so now calculate P1, calculate P2. How will you calculate P1? P1 is 400 by 500. 500 में से 400 टी ड्रिंकर्स थे. फर्स्ट सैंपल का P1 is 0.8, सेकेंड सैंपल का P1 is 400 by 600, that is 0.67. Okay, now calculate your p value. How will you calculate your p value? P value is P1 plus P1 N1 plus P2 N2 divided by N1 plus N2. So this is your P1 0.8 multiplied by N1. N1 कितना है 500, N2 कितना है 600. So this is your P1 multiplied by, sorry, this is your P1 multiplied by N1. This is your N2 multiplied by P2 divided by N1 plus P1. So if you will calculate it, you will get 8 by 11. P value. So Q value will be 1 minus 8 by 11, that is 3 by 11. So your standard error will be PQ multiplied by 1 upon N1 plus 1 upon N2. और इसका पूरे का अंडर रूट लेना है तुमको, स्क्वायर रूट. Okay, so this is 0.027. This value is coming out to be 0.027. Now you calculate the difference upon standard error. Standard error मिल गया तुमको 0.027. So your difference is P1 minus P2. P1 का proportion कितना है और P2 का proportion कितना है, इन दोनों को difference calculate करना है. Difference will be 0.8 minus 0.67, that is 0.13. Now this 0.13 has to be compared with 1.96 multiplied by SE. If this difference is less than this, you will accept your null hypothesis. Okay, so this difference P1 minus P2 is 0.13. P1 minus P2 is 0.13. And 1.96 SC कितना आ गया 1.96 multiplied by 0.27, which is 0.05. This is that value. So your 13.13 is less than 0.053 है क्या? नहीं है, false है. So this is false. It means you have to reject this null hypothesis. Null hypothesis rejection means, null hypothesis क्या बोल रहा था? No significant decrease in the consumption. So null hypothesis reject means there is a significant decrease in the consumption of tea after increase in excise duty. Okay, so rejection says that there is a significant decrease in the consumption. So this says that there is a significant decrease in the consumption of tea after increase in excise duty. Did you get it?
Yes, ma'am.
I think Aditi, you are answering all the time. Is it Aditi?
Yes, ma'am.
But then what about other? Anyone? I asked you to fill the feedback also. Only 25 or 26 has filled the feedback, and some of you have written some comments too. But then I need comments from you too when I'm asking something, and you don't ask even any doubts also. How will I come to know that you are facing some problem?
Ma'am,
Yes.
why at 5% level of significance?
What are you asking?
Ma'am, if we take at 1% level, then
See, if
then
you
it
take,
comes to
yes,
be true.
no, yes, in that case, see, if you take 1% level of significance, so your P1 minus P2 is 0.13, and your 2.58 multiplied by SE will be how much?
Ma'am, it is 0.69.
This value will be calculated as 0.69. So in that case, yes, in that case, this value is less than this. So in that case, your null hypothesis will be accepted. Now you see the difference when you are checking it at 5% level or 1% level. Why it is making the difference? Just have a look here. ये डायग्राम जो था तुम्हारा इस तरीके से था ना, ये सॉरी गलत बना, मैं वापस बनाती हूँ इधर. जस्ट हैव अ लुक. ठीक है, तो अगर 5% लेवल पे कर रहे हो, फॉर एग्जांपल क्रिटिकल वैल्यू इधर आ रहा है, और 1% पे कर रहे हो तो क्रिटिकल वैल्यू इधर है. फॉर एग्जांपल तुम्हारा जो वैल्यू आ रहा है वो समवेयर हियर आ रहा है. ठीक है, तो जैसे ये वैल्यू चेंज हुआ तुम्हारा 0.053 से 0.69 हुआ, तो ये जो 0.13 है वो क्या हुआ, इससे तो कम, इससे तो इसमें रह गया, लेकिन इस वाले रीजन से इधर रह गया वो. So it makes the difference. That's why I told you it makes the difference at which level of significance you are doing. Okay, so if you do at 1% level of significance, this will be accepted. Okay, so this is important, at which level of significance you are testing your hypothesis. Good that you asked. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Should I move to next? अरे तुम्हारा टाइम भी हो गया अभी तो. So this is what about, we talked about test of significance for attributes. We'll do about test of significance for variables. Just 1-2 examples, then we'll move to t-test. Okay. See, this hypothesis testing is not a kind of concept which you can understand easily. It will take time to understand or grasp the concept of testing of hypothesis. I think none of you have studied this earlier. And I think you have never heard about these terms, but they do exist. And to a certain level of acceptance at machine learning level 2,